Alright, hopefully this is working out. So here's the deal, folks. I need a new character. Okay, let me before I even start, I'm backing up in my mind here. Hold on. There we go. Right on. Just let me know if the voice to music ratio doesn't feel right. I'm still working this out. I can turn the music down a little bit, I think, like that. Yes. Okay, hopefully that'll work. Like that. I'm trying to figure it out because my mic is probably picking up my speakers. And I'm also trying to pump the audio capture directly. So you should be hearing the dings from your chat as well. Alright then, that's not working for me, so let's do this right here. There we go. That's what I gotta do. Alright, sorry anybody who's here that isn't working with me to get this audio cool. So yeah, I want to have like the nice music. I mean, we should have nice music to listen to while you listen to me drone on for some indeterminate amount of time. Alright, so making an animated series. Hopefully it's going to be a series. That's going to be up to the people who watch this thing, and then they can decide. Up my mic. Snowball is maxed. All I can do is get closer to it at this point. I can turn down the music, but I can't turn up the mic. That's just weird. It's not capturing direct from my... I'm gonna have to do a proper test at some point. Oh yeah, everybody's probably laggy. All right. Before I lose my... I'll just say hi in here as well. Alright, so yeah, I'm trying to make an animated series, and that is dependent on all of you who are watching this now and who will hopefully watch the teaser episode, which we're getting pretty close with, right? And what I said I would do, as I said about this adventure, was take you along for the ride, right? But there's this gray area of I don't want to show you too much and ruin it, but I want to show you enough that you're getting like something out of this as well. So I figure making a character is safe because you don't get to know too much except that this character is going to exist. And quite frankly, for the amount of people showing up in my stream at the moment, it's not really a big deal, right? So we need a character, and his name is Jesus. And Jesus, I should pull up the sheet, right? Jesus is... I'm sorry, I'm pulling up the sheet as I try to talk to you. Jesus is a character. He's a person. Let's pull him up here. Characters. Jesus. I'll just read from this. We'll see what we end up with. A Mexican American named Jesus. And Jesus just loves everybody. He is a... so he's an activist in the sense that he's doing all the cool things. He's like growing his own food. He's, you know, trying to upcycle. He's trying to use green energy. Just everything he can do to respect the earth. And to ensure that, you know, as humans progress, we're doing it in a way that is conscious of our environment. So I figure I can make this character. I can start drawing out concepts for this character with everybody here, because it's not going to give away too much. So let's just talk a little bit about character development. So part of our process is like not only writing the stories, but like figuring out who these characters are. Not just on a base level of saying, oh, I'm a Mexican American named Jesus, but to get a sense of what their personality is. And, you know, if they're going to deliver lines, then they're coming at us from a certain reference point. And so we're trying to develop that. And one of the cool things we're doing is looking at this like a Dungeons and Dragons. If any of you out there, all three of you, have ever played Dungeons and Dragons, then, you know, there's like attributes. You have dexterity, strength, maybe you are a certain class, like a warrior or a wizard, that sort of thing. And so that's a fun way to break this down as well, is just to say, what character class is this? You know, what are their major attributes? Are they dexterous or strong or charismatic? And then just to go into more detail, and then start putting them in situations where they have to respond. And how would that particular character respond to that situation? So we've collected a great deal of data in that respect now, and we're continuing to flesh that out. So we need to start thinking about what the character is going to look like based on this. And I think originally we might have set some sort of age, but here we go. So we'll just read some of this. So, I don't want to tell him that part. So Jesus owns a farm. He's into permaculture, food not bombs. You know, always smiling, and naturalized citizen, family from Oaxaca, lived in Detroit, right? So just all these little details that kind of tell us who this person is, where they come from. And originally I think we imagined, well, at least I imagined this person being older, and I think the first time I tried to take a stab at drawing them, I made them a little bit older, but I don't know, I'm just kind of rethinking that. Maybe in the 30s now, which is probably going to be old to some. Shouldn't say, I'm going to hopefully cut this into like a shorter video at some point. You know what? Okay, wait, let me just finish this up first. I've been drinking the Amstel Light. Sorry, folks. It's late. It took me a while to get my internet working properly, and I had too much Amstel Light. So I think I would like to keep this character a little bit younger because, well, mainly because I have a person who would be pretty good at doing the voice, and I don't know, I just trust them as far as communication goes and everything. And that was the person I used for this character you see on the screen. This is basically a caricature of this person, and he lives in Brazil. And, you know, I mean, Brazil has gone through some upheaval, and he has a sense for the culture, and I'm sorry, he speaks the language, you know. So it's really cool. And well, I mean, I don't know if you watched the video where he sent me this audio clip of remember the 5th of November, but it was excellent, man. He did just such a good job of it. So I don't know, I feel pretty cool with that. So I'm thinking maybe trying to keep this guy in like his 30s or 40s, and then like visual reference, what do I want to use? And I'm looking at the character I made, and it's actually kind of cool. I'm harkening back to that movie Rio. If you've seen the movie Rio with the birds, and oh man, I'm gonna be bad on names at this point. Hopefully I won't be bad at drawing. But darn it, the main character, or one of the main characters in there, was a guy from Brazil, and I don't know, he just kind of reminds me of this character on my screen here. So I don't know, my mind is already floating in that direction as far as visual reference goes. So I'm probably going to start from there, and I'm going to start loose in Photoshop, and yeah, everybody tell me what you think, and we'll just go from there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and close that up. And what I brought in here is just the default character I made originally, which was my reference for like proportions and just look dev. Certainly nothing fancy, just blocked out into the different sections of the body so I could use that as some sort of reference. And what I'm going to do here is create a new layer in my Photoshop and just go ahead and start painting over this. Well, not painting over this, but I'll start a new drawing over here. You ever seen Archer? How about that? Roger that. Alright. Let's go ahead and get started with this. I'm just going to pick, like, if you watched me draw before, I kind of default back to the old kind of light bluish color as my blocking. Oh man, I shouldn't have closed them. Some of the neat things though, if you start like studying features of people who come from different ethnicities, you know, you start noticing all these cool things, like the character I was just showing you, that his hair, I almost like reckon it back to like Greek hair, the way it sweeps forward and it's got these subtle little curls to it, but at the same time it's really cool in that it gets like thick and dark, and so I want to shoot for that. I want to try to get the skin tone right, and of course that varies vastly, but you know, let's actually look at the reference here for I'm gonna forget how to spell this here. I'll try to dance, keep you entertained while I stumble around the internet looking for this reference I want to show you. Alright, so here's some images. Let's just get some people. I want actual people. Yeah, here we go. So these are the natives of Oaxaca, and I mean, certainly this is going to vary based on like how this picture was shot. Oh, look at him, man. He's a happy. He looks maybe like a little ticked off. But look at these eyebrows. You know, that's what I'm talking about. Like the nice, dark, full hair. His eyebrows are very dark and full. Look at this gentleman here. So, I mean, he's already older, so he's going to have a wider nose. But you see here, this guy has like a bit of a wider nose as well. It's hard to place. Like, when you look at the eyes, you know, you almost... I mean, it's definitely like a specifically Latino sort of eye, but this guy here, we got another chat going on, and yeah, this guy here, this is like a great image, man. And he's got the beard, like the facial hair, the chest hair, the farmer's hat. Man, he looks like a happy dude. Look at him, he's got avocados and some kind of chili peppers down here. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much that. I think this is a good, this is a good place to start. I'll just capture this. I use the snipping tool right off my PC here. It's really like one of my favorite tools. And we can make a new reference layer for this. Paste that guy in there. So yeah, pulling together our reference. So that's pretty good. Something about the lips too. I'm trying to put my finger on it. Like, look at the women's lips. Let's pull this back over here again. The skin tone, it's definitely this nice golden, you know, brown. It's very. I wish I had that skin tone. I wouldn't like burn up in the sun. Yeah. And this person obviously spends a lot of time in the field, so their skin gets a little darker. So that's something to keep in mind. You know, a city dweller who's online, you know, which you probably won't find a lot of in Oaxaca, but you know, you're gonna have paler skin than if you're out in the sun. I'm out in the sun. This is out in the sun for an Irish British person. Okay, this is it. This is the darkness level. I'm out in the sun a lot. I know you see me here on the computer a lot, but I do get out in the sun quite a lot and grow things. To Amsterdam, everyone. Okay, so that gives me a good place to start. I know the basic shapes or shape language I use for this, and I kind of like to think of this as my standard person. So I should draw something. So the idea is maybe I want to elongate this guy's face a little more. If we're looking at his face shape, I'm already starting with a cylinder, obviously. But, how would you translate a cylinder into a rectangle? And I generally draw these things in here just to start defining, you know, where my anatomy would be on a character, where my eyes go. And if you watched any of my long, boring streams, then you would know methodology. And then, you know, capturing the lips is probably not going to be something I'm going to do because I'm trying to recycle the mouth shapes I've already made, simply because I am one person who already works a 40 plus hour a week job making the video games, and I don't have time. But we can focus on widening the eyes. Much like I did with blue, we can focus on what is indicatively a person from Oaxaca's eye shape, you know, like what's happening there. And definitely the brows are going to sell it, because when we get into the brows, we can make, you know, like a big thick shape here. So that'll help. And that's what I'm looking for now, is just what's gonna sell this to me. Strangely enough, facial hair, man. Like, facial hair is a great one because you definitely get certain shapes based upon ethnicity. And, you know, and ears. Ears are another one. They often tell, like, so here I have these smaller ears, but this guy has bigger ears. And if we were to look at, I bet you, I bet you anything, if we look at people, other people from the region, you know, they have larger ears than if you were like might find on your average Swede or something, which is cool. And my buddy who did the dialogue piece, you know, he also has this kind of nose, you know. And so I want to sell ethnicity in a very simplified form, is essentially what I'm getting at here. So I want to just focus on those things. He's a nice clean shaven fellow, and I don't want to noodle too much here. I'm gonna figure out a bunch of ideas, hopefully. Alright, so you know, just kind of fill that in a little bit just to say that's where it's at. You know, right there. And I'm actually excited to do a beard with this character type. Actually, I think I have one somewhere that I did. But I kept having this line here that sort of defined where the chin was, and now I'm gonna get this. Ooh, geez, I'm gonna get this very pronounced shape out of this with the beard, and then default eye shape. Always remembering when you draw stuff like what it is in 3D, right? So your eyeball is round, and I want to curve around that round object. Maybe I'll just nail it on the first shot. What do you guys think? And then the hair. So I'm going back because I can't see this guy's hair, and I might actually put this hat on him because that hat is like super cool. Things I think are cool. Big brimmed hats. So I might actually just come in and be paying attention to the dimensions of the head, get my little hat in there, and bring this. I probably need. Oh, I did. Oh, geez, what did I do? I am gonna move. Oh my goodness, what have I done? I gotta dock this again. Yeah, I'm gonna move my layer down a little bit. Make room for the hat. Make room for the hat, everyone! Alright, here we go. Wow. Yeah, and this is, you know, these are opportunities to exaggerate, of course. The size of things. Like this size is probably a little too ridiculous, but so we're looking for these landmarks, right? Who is Jesus? Who is this guy? What lets us know that Jesus is Jesus? And one of the things could be that he wears, you know, this enormous hat because he's out in the sun and he's farming. Doesn't want to get, you know, his face burnt constantly. So start with something kind of like that, and then my necks have been traditionally this swoopy thing with smaller bodies. I don't want to make him look like he's a bandito or something. Just think about this music, right? That first song I played was sick. Some of the newcomers might have missed it, but it was a sick song. I'll play it again. Oh, hey! Oh, yeah. Sorry. See you, Ray. I missed that. I was, he might have came in and left. Or he, right? You know what? Doesn't even matter. Doesn't matter. People in your internet, your personalities on your internet. So he's gonna have a. I like that. Oh, man, I like the dress shirt. I'm a huge fan of plain white shirts. Like losing my religion. And if we bring it down a little bit, you know, we can make him like an object of affection for anyone who finds handsome men attractive. And personally, if I were gonna, you know, dig on a dude, I'm not a huge fan of chest hair because I don't have it. But, you know, you might want to have some. I might want to start thinking of like Antonio Banderas begins his new profession as a farmer. So I don't need to get too much in the hands or anything. So something like that, you know. What do y'all think of that? Can we draw over it some more and see if we can find it? Man, I would love a food course. I want to get Geoff Lawton. First guy's face. Second guy's body. More girth. You want to make him look like he's been eating a lot of his food? 210? Alright. Alright. I planned for that contingency. Let's see what that looks like. And this is why digital painting's badass. So I can make a new layer here. I can even darken this up a little bit. And then, you know, friendlier. Maybe we're not going Antonio Banderas, and then we're going like a friendly local farmer. Which, quite frankly, ladies, gentlemen, whoever, would not enjoy being with a local farmer. People are in good shape, man. You're out there digging holes. Let me tell you what, I've dug a lot of holes. I turned the top of a mountain. Okay, I'm exaggerating. I turned my little portion of the top of the mountain into at least a half-acre garden, and it was just boulders. Boulders! I got enormously fit. My arms got much larger just farming. So if that was a full-time job, and then, you know, so here's the thing, we can always make them look a little jolly with these two lines right here. Say like, I've got a belly. And then when you pull it down past the pants, and that way the crotch shows up a little less. That kind of thing. More jolly. What else makes people jolly? I mean, if he's gonna gain weight, then you want to reflect that in the face a little bit as well. And it always shows up in the cheeks. You know? That's where it shows up. Alright. Solid stuff, yeah. Girthy body. So, I always start with this as my reference. And I think my arms. So I always say, let's see, like if we looked at this guy and we looked at, I made his arms a little longer than I might normally. I really always want them, like if this is your knee, this is where your fingertips land on your body. You can try it right now. This part of your thigh. And so this is probably about right, actually. And honestly, the girth of the sleeves thing, I'm not going to put biceps in them. That's not what I'm doing here. But just how thick are the arms, legs, you know. Girth that up a little bit. And then boots. Now when I'm working in the garden, I got these mud ruckers or something. Yeah. we can do this. It's a proportional thing, right? Like if you want to sell that he's got some extra weight, then we need this part of his body down here to be bigger than this part. But we can pull the whole thing out. You know, and then go from there. And this is going to start to get real fuzzy after a bit more like that. And maybe, you know, add a little more back down in here. That's actually feeling pretty good. It's feeling pretty good, I think. It's got girthy shoulders. And so is he like, okay, let's look at this for a second. Where's a blue that's not going to kill my computer loading it? Yeah, we'll just use this capture here. Those characters now are so complicated. They've got just so many freaking layers that they take a while to load. So let's say we had another character on the screen, like little blue girl here. Be all pixelated, of course. Oh, jeez Louise. Oh, my life. Oh, my life. Alright. Well, you get the idea. And then, you know, how does this person stack up to them? Like, is she taller than them? I mean, is she a tall person? Oval instead of circle. For the belly. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go into we can probably pull it off. Do some erasing here. Oh, I think I ended up on 2 layers somehow. Oh yeah, that's right. We were building on them on that layer. Okay, alright, I think I see it now. So if she's 5'7", then Jesus is maybe like a 6-footer. It didn't look like a lot of the Awakens were particularly tall. He saw a few tourists in that image who seem to be quite a bit, well, not quite a bit, but a bit larger than them, like European descent. So they might end up something kind of like that, just for reference. Yeah, and Asian girls are generally a little shorter, so it might be cool to keep her kind of extra petite, especially with that voice we have. Which, for anybody who's not in on this, who's here. It's like a nice, you know, that sounds like a nice petite person. Something kind of like that. Alright, so let's just go back to this for a second. We'll make another new layer. And I'll tone these down now. So that we just get this nice faint outline. And here's something interesting for anyone who's watching, and this might, you know, like I said, I might actually edit this someday and make it into a video that's watchable, not like this horrifying long thing, but a lot of the time I do stuff on paper, And then I color that in with some markers, just enough to kind of get, you know, an idea. And I'll go through a bunch of drawings before I actually commit. And there's this one I did. That's silly with PewDiePie back when he had the big beard. So, you know, this process here digitally is very nice, because with those drawings I would draw it in multiple iterations. So there's like blue pencil and then black pencil, and then kind of erase that and go over it with marker. And so here I can just down the opacity. So I'm going to hop onto this layer here, and then well, it's not everything. My own Asiatic partner in crime here is pretty tall. Well, I think Thai people are generally a little taller to begin with than like Japanese people. It's all generalizations anyways. So we'll take this layer, and I'm just going to start here by... oh, shoot. That's right, I want to get a little darker now. To me. Yeah, just starting to refine it a little bit. Still keeping it loose because I've made no final decisions. But hopefully what we'll get out of this is just an image I can bring into Illustrator. I'm going to do these next rounds of characters in Illustrator, because it's so nice and clean. And my initial idea was to start creating libraries, because let's say we want a lot of characters eventually to start popping up. I don't want to have to go through the process of drawing like mundane body parts every time I need to make a new character. So I was going to make a library of them. And features like this, little flavor saver. I mean, I'll try to put little bits of detail in it, but in general, I'm not getting terribly detailed with things. I did figure out how to make patterns in Illustrator, so I was able to do like a cool flannel shirt, and so I'm definitely going to start incorporating that stuff. The tech I really want to get is someone did this cool stuff with it's what we call a normal map, but it basically defines the 3D properties of something in 2D. And so what it would let me do is light the characters in such a way that it would respect what I consider depth in this drawing, and I would kind of define that and say, oh, here's the nose, and the nose is X amount of space forward, and Z, and the Z axis, and then go from there. So yeah, he's starting to a little stronger looking there. And, I'd imagine he's not a serious person, but he is, he grows food, man. I mean, if you ever worked in the garden, it's a very zen-like experience, and it's very direct. Like you're creating this thing that nourishes you and your family, and it's beautiful. It's just a great place to be. So, let's see, a little more ovally. Is his shirt tucked in? Is it, I mean, maybe sometimes he tucks in his shirt. I don't know. Maybe he's the kind of guy that always tucks in his shirt because he likes to be organized. He's an organized sort of person. I can kind of imagine that. I'm gonna play that first song again because I think this playlist just ended. That song was dope. So, you know, we'll say that he is, for now at least, kind of a well-kempt person, which means his hips are gonna end up here. Now, one thing I definitely know is it should be sleeves rolled up, right? Because he's working. Thumbs. I'm always thinking of things in basic shapes, you know, like this meteor thumb. And, you know, he might have big, strong hands, so we might actually just exaggerate that. Big, strong hands. Got his pockets. Girth to his. Oh, I didn't decide on the footwear. It's definitely boots, right? How can it not be boots? But big, thick arms for hugging. Like I said, I wear these muck boots myself. They come up to my knees, but you know, he probably would be wearing that. Would he wear them most of the time? Probably, man. I mean, I see people at the local convenience store, you know, who are just wearing these boots because they're working. They don't have time to. Home Depot, that's another great place. You go to Home Depot to get some stuff. You know, feet, darn you, and your elusiveness. You know, it's something along those lines. I'll refine my foot. I know it's crap. Sorry. I took a class that was called Heads and Hands. I didn't take that one that was called Feet. So, you freaking break, man. All right, and then a little bit of hair. Maybe this is where the suave comes through. Like, you know, I was a young man, and I'm a handsome man from Oaxaca. Despite the fact that I'm working hard in the fields with my local CSA, you know, I'm a kind, handsome, huggable man. Don't let the calluses on my fingers fool you. Oh, now I'm starting to fall in love with this guy. Look at me. He's adorable. Big, handsome. I like this guy, the Bubbernut. I listen to him. He plays Dungeons and Dragons on Twitch. And, yeah, he's one of those guys. One of those big bear of a man. Just a nice guy. Cool guy. Very nice. Alright. Still just keeping it quick and loose, just trying to figure stuff out. I don't even need to draw all of that probably, but it's helping me to visualize, I guess, what the balance that's going to look like. Just get a little of it in. So yeah, something along those lines. And then, let's think here. Like, what would the dude wear? I mean, I'd definitely like the shirt. I don't want to give him a big belt buckle because I lived in California, man. I know how the tropes work. I don't want that trope necessarily. Probably has a belt. Keeps his pants up. I have a belt. I've had the same belt for like 14 years. Yeah. And we're fans of big hats. What can we say? That shape probably needs a little refinement, but no noodling, no noodling. I can't see what the rest of the hat is doing, but I would kind of guess if this was his cranium, then you would have some hat, you know. I'm guesstimating. So pants. I mean, I would imagine if I were this dude, then I'm working at the CSA, you know, or I'm actually organizing and running the CSA. That I is over too far. Yeah, I'm not trying to make money. And so maybe if I'm getting some pants, I might even go to the Goodwill and just see what they got that looks sturdy and not too worn for a reasonable amount of money. Dickies are very popular. So you get this rough, if I get any texture in here, the rough canvasy kind of look to things. And generally those pants, where's that coming from? Check the chat. Yeah, I'm only on one chat at a time. I guess my Dickies are this weird grayish green, and then you always got the little loop, you know, like if you want to have something here. They might even cargo out a bit just to, you know, you're gonna want storage room to put your clippers or something in. What else makes you look gardenery? It's gonna have probably a pocket here. Generally, just looking kind of dirty and messy makes you look gardeny. Like you're working in the old garden. Yeah, that's about that. So let's just get a little bit of color in it. Just get a feel for what that might look like. And I've established I like the white shirt. I'm using Photoshop right now. I'm just sketching in Photoshop. I generally, one of my favorite things to sketch in is actually an Autodesk product called Autodesk Sketchbook. I think that's right. And what's cool about it, it just feels very natural. And you can actually use it on your phone as well. And I think they just made it free because Autodesk makes all their money off AutoCAD. So they don't really care. They just want people to like their brand. So, but I am going to move into Illustrator once I define this character a little better. Pardon me for a moment. Alright, so yeah, Dickies. I wear Dickies and I got this like greenish brown thing going on. Yeah, no, they're greenish brown. How do you make greenish brown? Well, here's a tiny bit of color theory. Is the opposite of green, or the complementary color of green. So if we had like a nice bright green, and we threw that down somewhere, is red. And this is not, you know, how I'm picking the color. I just wanted you to see this because it's a useful little bit of information. And the way, so what they call this is a muted tone, and you mute a tone by adding its complementary color. So I just smudged this out, and I end up with this weird, you know, well, it's not weird, but I end up with this brownish color. And my Dickies, at least, are kind of dark. And they might even move a little more towards the green spectrum. Kind of faded, especially in the sunlight. I'll type this in here too, just in case you can't hear me. Yeah, so maybe something kind of like that. So let's check this out and just see what that does for us. Brush out here, and I got a new layer here just so actually if I move this behind my lines I can get nice and free with it and kind of make the brush a little bigger just so I'm not wasting a lot of time. That's it. And this color is obviously going to look different on everybody's screen. you know, something along those lines. And it's probably impractical to wear a white shirt, but, well, it's practical in the sense that white reflects light, and it's actually a really good thing to wear if you're going to be out in the sun. But it's going to get dirty, right? And so I probably would start with just this original color of kind of this yellowed out, grayed out thing, which adds, and definitely earth tones all around. Like, you're not going to see, like, blue has, you know, a lot of blues, and some magenta going on in there, some purple. Whereas Jose, you know, he's a man of the earth. He doesn't have time for that colorful business. Maybe when he goes back to a walk at the visit, you know, he wears more traditional, colorful garb for a festival or whatever might be happening at the time. And so, skin tone, I might just try to steal something as a base out of here. That's kind of more what I'm shooting for. Yeah, it's very, very, I think it's looking to me, but I'm not putting a lot of light and shadow into these drawings, so it's not painterly, it's cartoony. I guess is one way to sum it up. So I gotta kind of pick a color that works and stick to it. I just feel like that needs to be browned out just a little more. It's always a tough one because you're picking like just this. You only want this base color, right? I'll throw in a little more for highlights. I'll do like one little shadow, one little highlight, but there's no blending between colors. It's just like 3 colors basically for the skin tone is what I end up with. That kind of feels nice, like I'm out in the sun. Oh, look. It's, you know, it's not necessary that he have dark skin per se, like, certainly my friend from Brazil doesn't really have particularly dark skin. I don't know, I might actually, I kind of like that. I'm gonna let it ride for a second. Let's see what comes of that. And this is where I would choose that darker color. So I'll come in here and get something. And here's another interesting thing, if anyone cares too much, is we can look at this color here and we can say this is a warm color, right? There's warm color, cool color. Cool color is going to have more blues, like something over here. You know, like this blue is more of a cool color. And so what happens with light, funny enough, is that if you have a warm color and there's a shadow, the shadow will tend to be 2 things. One is the opposite, it'll be cool, and it'll be the complementary color to the thing that you're using, like basically muting out the tone. So, you know, here I definitely have a lot of red and orange, and so I could try slipping over here into more of a greenish blue. But you gotta be careful with this because it gets weird. There's basically cast shadow and form shadow. And form shadow might not have, or won't really have, that thing I just described, those opposing factors. But the cast shadow will. So I could come in here and get a little of this color going on. But I could also just come back and sort of darken and mute what I chose for the skin tone, and that will work fairly well for areas like that. Alright, so just splash some of this in here just so we get a sense. And then his hat. What would the people of Oaxaca make a hat out of? What material are we talking about? Is it just? I always think felt, like you would take wool and you would refine that out into like a felt, and then use that material to form your hat out of. Polyester? Damn it. As soon as I hear the word polyester, I immediately think of disco. Alright, what else you guys want to listen to? How about I can search, can I? Epidemic music. If I had more people other than 3 who watched my stuff, why is that not like a thing? You want to get like acoustic? Let's get acoustic. Oh, trap. Acoustic with it. Bring it back down because I gotta crash soon. I would put on lo-fi hip-hop. It did not appear in my royalty-free music, and if I want to use this on YouTube, I try not to mess with YouTube, man. You know, I don't want to give them any reason to want to mess with me. Alright, so that's pretty good. I kind of want to see more orange, I guess, in his skin tone. Pardon me here for a second. And certainly this shadow. I don't like that. I got too out of hand. I just want to like a little bit. You just gotta be careful with contrast, because too much contrast in the wrong places. I'm staring at this big dark neck and it feels really, like something more like that is probably cool. And I'll bring that into these areas here and all that, just to sense. You always have this sort of cranial ridge that happens on a person. Fill this in here. I might even bring a little of that, just in around here. Depending on his age, he might have a little something going on there. This whole area under the beard, you have these nice little pockets that happen here on your chin. The shape's kind of like that. And then the hair itself, I think we've established. Like something kind of dark there. That looks nice. And I'll probably get some kind of exterior texture into this. I don't know. Actually, I want it to be a shorter beard. I was talking about the hat last time now. I just kind of jumped around. And I'll get some little shapes into this eventually, just make it kind of interesting. And then the hat. So yeah, I am not. I can't do polyester. Can't do it, man. I can do wool. Let's do wool. Blow my chat up over here a little bit. Which doesn't really matter. I mean, we got this nice dark color. It's just I'm thinking of like when I'm picking colors. natural dyes. I just love to use. I saw a lot of orange and this warm colors coming out of there. So I might get into something kind of like. It's a very subtle difference. I think is what I want for this character, anyways. Is this subtle difference between different hues and such that I'm using on him. Watch this. You ready? Oh gosh, I'm gonna get better whack him at some point, or knock off if I have to. Yeah, and since this is in the distance, we might. Make you feel it. Flavor saver. So yeah, we start to get a sense of the dude there, maybe. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. This is an actual person. This is Troy. Oh, Chewy. I knew a Chewy. Oh! Are you talking about the same Chewy? Or a different Chewy? I know a Chewy. I love Chewy, man. Digging on that. This color of his skin isn't quite right. I really want it to be like a little more that direction, maybe. Trying to find the warmth. Maybe more like that. Still, I want more. I want like this color. I guess that's just what I want. It's alright now, but I don't know if I can take another go round. Yeah, more like that. I just want to warm it up a little bit. It adds to the like overall feel that I'm going for. This, warm personality. Something along those lines. And I guess if I were going to do a highlight in a couple spots, just scribbling all over this. And then here, like this will get a little darker, of course, like last time. And then if I were going to do a highlight, I just kind of come in. I might even bring in some more of that warmth. Yeah. There. Something like that. Lighter and pinker. Pinker. This is where Illustrator is going to be kind of nice because you get these defined shapes that you can just change the fill color of instead of trying to paint over it constantly. It's clearly driving me crazy. I guess I could try to isolate color, just play with it a little bit. I'll try to do that in just a second here. Because he's starting to look weird with all the scribbles on him, right? But yeah, then I can just, I can can mess with this color here. I do see the guy's, yes, his rosy cheeks. It's just so complex in there. Like, there's so many things happening. Maybe that's a good color. He's got glowing thumbs. Look at that. That's the color he's got there. So I'm going to lighten that up a little bit. I think it was starting to hit it. Looks like he's wearing like another human's face now. It's weird. I'll let that sink in for a second. And on the side. Only 2 watching now. They're dropping out, man. Not interesting enough. It's probably just you and me. It's kind of expected. I don't even tell people I'm going to do this, so it's not like I'm trying to gain publicity. I figure I might as well just stream this crap while I do it. Yep. Alright. I'm going to call that something. I'm going to call it something. And I'm going to leave it with that something. And I feel like it's enough that I can get into Illustrator. I'm going to double check. There we go. Michael maybe knows Chewy too. Well, there's nobody here anyways, man. 1 or 2 people might watch this like later on, but it's not really for public consumption. I might edit it up. I mean, the reason I'm doing the streams, honestly, is just to make something, and I don't have time for editing because there's things to actually make. Edit videos. But yeah, man, I dig this. Oh, whatever. He's complaining. That's how it works. It's like a show. It's a TV show. Alright, I'm going to cut it though, because really it's probably just me and one other person watching. And I'm going to take this character then, I guess, and start refining it in Illustrator, either on or off camera.